Hi brush friends, it's Maricar from 7 Brush Strokes, and I'm so excited to be part of this amazing summer workshop retreat. Welcome to my lesson. Today we are going to paint loose brush pen florals, and this is what our project will look like. So forget about the watercolor tubes or the watercolor pens because we are not going to use that for this class. All you need is the same brush pens that you are already using for your lettering or calligraphy artworks. Curious to know how to do it? Let's get started! First of all, let's discuss the materials that you need to prepare for this lesson. You can use any water-based markers or brush pens. Some of my favorites for this technique is the Crayola Super Tips, Tombow Dual Brush Pens, and Careen Brush Marker Pro. For this class, I'll be using Careen brush markers, and I'm picking a color theme with a summer vibe. You can choose the colors that you prefer for your wreath. The paper that I'm going to use is the Fabriano watercolor paper. We also need a round paintbrush, a blending palette, tissue paper, and a jar of clean water. The first step that I do is to locate the center of my watercolor paper using a ruler and a pencil. With the help of a compass, I will draw a circle of my desired size and then lightly erase the pencil marks using a kneaded eraser so that when I painted flowers, the pencil marks won't be too visible. Since we are creating an inverted wreath where the elements are on the inside of the circle instead of the outside or on the edge, I'm gonna use a washi tape to set as a border for my circle. Now that we're fully set up, we are ready to paint with brush pens. We are going to paint 5 roses on this wreath, starting on this side. One important thing to remember when painting a rose is that roses are simply a series of C-strokes. To paint a rose using your brush pen, start with a thick comma stroke, followed by a thin, small C-stroke. There. Next, we're going to draw slightly bigger, thin C-strokes that overlap each other. This will be the center of the rose. After that, we're going to add bigger C-strokes on the outer side of the rose. You can fix the shape of the center of the rose by checking if there's a wide space in between C-strokes. If that's the case, add more small, thin C-strokes at the center, but make sure to leave enough white space between the strokes as this will indicate the separation of petals from each other, and it will also help to avoid making a blob. Now, wet your paintbrush and start spreading the ink from the brush pen markings while still following C curves and leaving white spaces. While the paint is still wet, you can try adding some ink on the edges of the petals to add more depth to the rose. Okay, we are going to just repeat the same process for the other roses. Alright, now let's add a simple 5-petal flower to our wreath. First, add random dots using a darker color for the center. Next, draw thin upstrokes at the top and 2 markings at the bottom. And then we are going to spread the brush pen ink with water to create the petal of the flower. Another way to do a 5-petal flower with brush pen is to add random dots and V shapes for the petals. And then we'll form the petals with the wet paintbrush. So let's fill our wreath with this super easy and fun to do 5-petal flowers. Of course, our wreath won't be complete without leaves. I'll be using my Ziploc bag now as my palette, and I'll just put some ink here and activate it with water so I can use it as a watercolor. We'll start with the lightest green, and we're just going to add leaves to the big gaps that we see on our wreath. For example, here, we have a big space between the rose and the 5-petal flower, so I'll add a leaf here. We do this to ensure that we are covering the edges of the wreath with elements so that it would appear like a closed ball, if that makes sense. Okay, moving on to the next set of leaves, I have a darker green here, and I really like the vibrancy of this color. We're gonna add more leaves in between each flowers, and if you're not sure where to add leaves, take a look at the spaces of your wreath that you think looks empty and add leaves there. For the next part, I grabbed another shade of green which is a bit darker from the previous one, and I'm going to use this for filler leaves or smaller leaves to make this wreath look fuller. This step is optional. Actually, you can already stop from here if you're satisfied with how it looks, or you can add more leaves and fillers just like what I'm doing here. Alright, we've finished painting the elements. Once the ink has dried, you can now slowly remove the washi tape, and this part is really satisfying. There you have it! You've created a loose brush pen floral wreath. So simple, right? You can letter your favorite word or quote in the middle, or just let it be. It's up to you. You did a great job today! Congratulations! And I'd love to see your projects. Please do share them on Instagram and tag me at 7brushstrokes so that I can feature your work on my Instagram stories. As a simple way to thank you for showing up to the summer workshop retreat, I have created this wallpaper that you can use on your phone with hopes to brighten up your day. You can download this for free by simply signing up through the link on the description below. And if you want to learn more about brush lettering or more projects about the brush pen floral technique, you can always find me on Instagram and YouTube at 7brushstrokes. Thank you so much for your time, and always remember, there is a unique artist within you.